Yesterday, I spoke with Yanira Arias from Alianza Americas, who's a temporary protected status recipient born in El Salvador and part of the coalition dueling with the Trump administration in court over the future of TPS.
They are very savvy moving their influences on how not to use those appointed judges, but Republicans in the district, in the 9th district, but also the strategy of intimidation toward judges.
I'm Roman Gressier, the editor of El Faro English. This is our weekly podcast, Central America in Minutes.
In Nicaragua, the house arrest of Daniel Ortega's brother
relates more to El Salvador and Honduras than to Guatemala. In the case of Guatemala,
they say globalism comes to die at CPAC, but in El Salvador, it's already dead.
Central America in Minutes, an original podcast by El Faro English.
On February 2nd, Washington District Court Judge Ana Reyes blocked the Department of Homeland Security from canceling TPS for Haiti. In a hearing 10 days later, she said she and her colleagues had received death threats for doing so. The program authorizes recipients to stay in the U.S. without a path to citizenship, citing armed conflict, natural disaster, or other extraordinary and temporary conditions in their home countries. The Trump administration quickly canceled the program for a slate of countries around the world, drawing accusations of racial prejudice and of ignoring home conditions. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled twice last year in May and October to allow Trump to cancel TPS for Venezuela. It picked up the cases from the controversial emergency docket, offering little to no reasoning. Meanwhile, the case for Honduras, Nicaragua, and Nepal has ping-ponged between the district and appeals courts. The legal status of around 12,700 TPS holders from Nepal, 72,000 from Honduras, and 4,000 from Nicaragua is on the line. This is according to congressional figures cited by the National Immigration Forum. The numbers are approximate as of last July. Protections from deportation expired for these three countries in September, but on New Year's Eve, a federal judge ruled that ending the program was unlawful. This ruling held protections in place for the three countries. But weeks later, on February 9th, came more whiplash. An appeals court sided with the Trump administration, suspending the December order and allowing the program to indeed come to an end while litigation continues. The Supreme Court has the last word, but has no obligation to review the case, and TPS advocates are looking beyond the courts for long-term legislative protections. Next Wednesday, they'll meet in Washington with members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. Every week, we translate Central America in under 10 minutes. Go to support.elfaro.net to help us continue. Next, to Guatemala. On February 18th, a judge internationally sanctioned for election meddling overturned an arrest warrant against former president and coup leader Jorge Serrano Elías, who's now 80 years old. 33 years ago, Serrano Elías staged a self-coup known as the Serranazo. He dissolved Congress and the Supreme Court, leading to more than 13 criminal charges, including violating the Constitution, rebellion, embezzlement, and fraud. He's been a fugitive in Panama since 1993, where he regularly comments on Guatemalan politics, and even published a book. Now, without an arrest warrant, Serrano Elías could return to Guatemala to resolve his legal situation personally. Equally revealing is who the judge is, Freddy Orellana, known for efforts in 2023 to prevent President-elect Bernardo Arévalo from coming to power in a sprawling coup attempt. He has been one of the closest allies of Attorney General Consuelo Porras, who led the efforts to annul the election results, cancel Arévalo's party, and put him in prison. Judge Orellana has been a key figure in criminalizing officials, judges, prosecutors, journalists, and human rights defenders. Last year, prosecutors captured two leaders of an indigenous Mayan authority known as the 48 Cantons of Totonicapán. They had led a national movement to defend the election results in 2023. Their names are Luis Pacheco and Héctor Chaclan. They stand accused of terrorism for the peaceful demonstrations and road blockades they organized that year. With one delay after another, the defendants have been in prison since April 2025. Months passed before a judge was even assigned to the case, and prosecutors have recused multiple judges. On February 10th, they got a new judge assigned, and guess who received the case file? Yep, Judge Freddy Orellana. The defense says that his track record hardly inspires confidence. Do you get the El Faro English newsletter? For a deeper look at Central America every week, go to elfaro.net/en and subscribe to help us topple the dictatorship of the algorithm. Nicaragua is profiting from Costa Rican gold, Mario Zamora, Minister of Public Security, denounced this week in San Jose.
El robo del oro de los costarricenses lo llevan a cabo coligalleros.
The theft of Costa Rican gold is carried out by coligalleros, who use smuggling routes that pass through the San Juan River and reach Nicaragua.
That word he used is coligalleros, referring to hundreds of Nicaraguans who extract gold by hand in crucitas in northern Costa Rica. The government says these miners smuggle sacks of sediment and sell them to Chinese mining companies. Official data shows that Nicaragua exports more gold than it produces. Experts believe this is due to smuggling. The Costa Rican government estimates that the gold siphoned from crucitas is worth $252 million a year. On the Nicaraguan end, gold's a top export. Nearly 80% of mining concessions were granted since Ortega came to power, and the country is the largest player in Central America. A report in El Faro English in 2024 announced a Nicaraguan gold rush, a new frontier of corporate extraction. For years, most of the gold has gone to the United States. To step up pressure against Ortega, the Biden Treasury sanctioned Nicaraguan state mining operatives. Now, with Trump back in the White House and Ortega's wife, Rosario Murillo, installed as co-president, Costa Rica requested a high-level meeting with Nicaragua this Saturday, February 28th. They intend to discuss more patrols in the area.
¡Ya nos vamos! ¡Solo déjelo! ¡Saca la gente!
This is audio from Extra TV in August 2025, when the Costa Rican police raided a mine to expel some 400 miners. The miners said they would leave, but needed to get people out first. Incidents like this only fuel Costa Rica's attempts to legalize mining. The Costa Rican government is inching toward reversing the ban on open-pit mining that they approved in 2010. The outgoing Rodrigo Chavez administration took the first step at the end of 2025 with a proposal to legalize open-pit mining in crucitas. They argued that this would control gold theft, environmental damage, and social crisis in the area. But specialists conclude the initiative isn't technically sound and seems more like a way to justify mining while sidestepping enormous environmental costs. Mauricio Alvarez Mora from the University of Costa Rica concluded that the proposal would allow extraction in an area over 100 times larger than the illegal mining in crucitas. Thanks for streaming Central American Minutes. This episode was written by Yuliana Ramazzini, Gabriel Labrador, and me, Roman Gressier. Sound design by Omnion and support from the Canada Fund from Local Initiatives. Find us wherever you do your streaming, and we'll be back next week. Hasta pronto.